fight, we might lose. But if we don't fight, we've already lost.
Hello and welcome to Tuesday. Oh, fuck it. What a fucking week this has been, eh? Got to crack it open. Get some down because it has been a hell of a week for a Parramatta fan. It has been that many emotions, that many up and downs. First of all, thanks to this is the Parramatta League's Tuesday night Talking Parra live show. Thanks to our sponsors, Riverside Brewing Co., Time for a Chat, ZMS Trophies, Tony Mustafa, Tate Sports Card, Non-Stop Landscapes, X-Advisory, BMA Trucking, Bay Vista, Spot on Hose and Fuse, Euro Work, and JD Buyer Agents. Thanks to our sponsors for making this show possible. As I said, it's been a massive week, a hell of a week with Parramatta fans. Let's start away from the Parramatta stuff first of all. So I send all our love, all our best wishes to everyone affected by the floods. Obviously, northern New South Wales, mid-north coast, Hunter has been absolutely smashed by these. So there's a lot of Parramatta fans in the area. Obviously, I live in the area myself, and look, I wasn't badly affected. I was away from home for about 2 days, and that was painful enough. So obviously, a lot of people have lost everything. So sending the love, the care, all the best. So let's bring all the boys in. Let's start chatting footy because a lot has happened this week, as we know. There's a lot of anger amongst the Parramatta fans. We've seen your questions. We've seen your response. You want us to blame someone. You want us to go off. You want us to turn back the clock and look like it's 2024 again. And there's going to be a lot of blaming. There's going to be a lot happening, but it's probably not what you want. It's probably not what we're going to expect. But we will get to the Lachlan Galvin stuff soon. We're going to start in the positive and talk about, obviously, this week's game as well that just happened, the win, obviously, that happened. Let's start, as I said, this is the Talking Parra League's Tuesday night live show. We've got a giveaway. It's getting cold. I don't know if you can tell. I've got a beanie on. Hayden's got a shit fucking jumper on. Even everyone's wearing jumpers pretty much. So we're going to give away a hoodie. So all you got to do is share this. Once you've shared the podcast, comment, shared, we'll draw at the end. It's not one of those ones that's going to jackpot because I don't really want to give away 2 hoodies. So what that means is it will go off at the end of the night. So you have 30 seconds to claim. If you're not here, we'll draw someone else out. So make sure you hang around till the end and we'll draw that. We're going to start, everyone, a really important question, okay? Just one word answer. Hayden, you're muted because you always got some annoying shit on before you come on. Did Joash Papali'i play?
What?
Did Joash Papali'i play on Friday night?
Yeah, on Friday night, yes.
Yeah, Matt, did Joash Papali'i play on Friday night?
Yes.
Hey, Jack, did Joash Papali'i play on Friday night?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Troy, did Josh probably play on Friday night?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Longy, I don't know if you know, but did Josh probably play on Friday night?
Yeah.
Hey, Jace, did Josh probably play on Friday night?
Not just played, he fucking starred.
Hey,
I was expecting you to go, yeah, but
I know.
Starred.
I was
Look at that smile.
disappointed. We waited till after Jason. He's like, yes.
no.
I was waiting for a song and dance.
Apparently, all this podcast does is spread rumors and make shit up. And, we tried to tell you that Josh was debuting, and so many people didn't want to believe us, but the proof's in the pudding. Josh probably not only played, he played 78 minutes. He played so fucking well. He won Jace's heart even more as he was standing next to me celebrating every time when he scored his try and when he made his sideline tackle. When the bloke behind was talking absolute shit about him missing the first 2 tackles, Jason was boiling on the inside, but he got his moment. So don't doubt us, guys. We're 2 from 2 on the late-ins for the year, but let's actually check on how everyone's doing now. Longy, how you cracking?
Mate, it was a cracker down at the game live, and a lot of people weren't super optimistic about Parramatta. We rocked up, pumped them, back-to-back 20-point wins for us. So I'm stoked, mate.
Yeah, that 4 against Sunshine. As you said, it was a 30-10 win over Manly. Look, I'm a bit saying I didn't know what to expect. I was hoping we turned the corner. I don't think Newcastle was our best performance, even though we won, but obviously beating Manly 30-10 without Mitchell Moses, without Zach Lomax. I know they had Daly Evans out in Turbo. Obviously, he was struggling and Gerbo was out as well, but it's a massive win. I guess the most impressive thing for me was we looked to click as a team. We finally looked to click as a team. We started to see a bit more of that Jason Riles era of Parramatta coming through. How quick we worked through the hands. Our backline looked incredible. Our defensive effort's been there, let's be honest, for the last, I'd say since Magic round, our defensive effort's been there. The way they've been turning up and backing our online defense has been huge. And now we turn around and obviously we turn around and, prove we can attack without Mitchell Moses. I don't want to jump to too many conclusions early on and get all optimistic and, say how well we're going to go and stuff. But I was reminded of us, we look like Melbourne. That next man up mentality was there. No one had to overplay. Everyone come in and did their role, and it was fucking fantastic. Your thoughts on the game, Jack?
Oh, it was great. Won the game. Live better Joash Papali'i to score. I did that for Jace. I thought he would have appreciated that. Had my best mate over, who's a Manly fan, so I got to give it to him for 90 minutes. Got a $50 off him. Yeah, it was great. Dr. Dean's in the house. I'm a big fan of his work too. Not a fan of his goal dropouts, but I will leave that for now and focus on the positives. Two in a row. Grand final tickets have been bought.
Lovely. Look, we could have been 5 in a row. Let's be honest. Like, we obviously beat the Tigers, went to a bye. We really should have beat Granola and beat the Dolphins. So it feels weird to say, but we are kind of one of the form teams in the comp at the moment. And it's that close. We're literally sitting 2 wins off 5th place. We're 1 point off the bottom, but we're 2 wins off 5th place and 1 win out the 8. So it's weird when you look at it that way, how quickly it can change. Jace, your thoughts on Friday night?
Me?
Yes, Jace.
Yeah. Is there another fucking Jace?
As you said, that we all clicked. I mean, Footy Dean killing it. One of his best performances by far. And finally, we have a 7 that can back up for Moses. And, of course, the main man, Joash, made his debut. I did call it. I did say he'd probably fit in somewhere on the wing if he played on the wing. So, look, some defensive lapses, but who cares? I mean, what a debut. What an absolute gun of a debut. Someone else said in the comments the pass he gave to Sam Rani. It was beautiful. It was a bit of a fade, bit of a step, bit of the eyes, like it was just amazing. He had a great debut and everyone played well. And you had people like Dylan Brown and the Fox having quiet games and everyone else, Junior's 250, having a good one as well. And Jack Williams. Oh my God, what a beast. Like so many people played well that game. We defended well. And I just love beating Manly. I just absolutely love beating Manly. My best mate goes for Manly, and it's just the best. I just love it.
And he was there too, and he was actually quite a decent bloke for a Manly fan. It's really weird. All the blokes you've brought in so far to these blocks all seem to be like really nice guys. And then you brought Troy in a couple of times, so it's a bit weird. But anyway, look, yeah, it was fantastic as you said, and Jack Williams. So many Cronulla fans are saying he's a shit buy for us. They're happy to see him gone. There's others saying he's a gun, but so many bagging out. He's looking at buy the season almost so far. I know Ongi's been good as well, but he's really impressed me. Troy, your thoughts?
Well, one big fan got his budgie smugglers signed by Jack Williams after the game, so he was quite impressed with his performance. So yeah, probably an unusual signing, but yeah, great game. Look, as you were probably a little bit, how are we going to go in this game? But with Mitchell and Zach out, but they stepped up. I thought after the first try, Manly try, I thought, oh no, here we go down that left hand side again. But no, they really dug in, and the debutant and Junior, he was massive in his 250th, 200 meters. I don't know, remember the last time he ran 200 meters. And look, Jordan Samrani as well, again, impressing me a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Maddie?
Yeah, I was actually tossing up with this game whether to go, but halfway through the day it stopped raining, so I'm like, I was there for Junior's first game, so I have to be there for his 250th. So, but yeah, I was impressed. Joash, come on, he wasn't expecting it. We talked to him after the game, and he wasn't expecting to be thrown on that early, and you could see him bouncing around everywhere. But I must say, that's probably Dylan Walker's best game for us. The way he done that turn and pass Cleary-like style, and it's finally clicking where we want to go. So, but yeah, look forward to seeing what we come up with this week after that.
I'm so glad we got everyone else's thoughts on the game. I'm so glad we cleared through everyone else. No one else important here tonight. It's just a 6-person panel. So let's move on to obviously the player of the. Oh, Hayden, you're here. Sorry, I didn't realize you're there in that piece of shit. How you traveling, mate?
Yeah, mate.
And your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, mate, really enjoyed going to the game on Friday. I mean, we've seen a lot of Origin affected or, without.
He's still talking. Can anyone else hear him? Because we've muted him, I didn't realise.
What is his
Okay. Am I good now? Can I talk? Yep.
I don't feel good, Lachlan. What?
Oh, that's for later. That's for later. But right now, as for this game, Junior's 250th. Parra's not known for rising to the occasion for milestones, so it was really good to see the boys. we're absolutely so used to seeing this team go to shit without Mitchell Moses. So I've got to be honest, I had no confidence going into Friday night. But what I saw, as Adam said, 2 points from the bottom, but also 2 games from being, 5th place, this team has really turned a corner and playing some very good football. There was so many great individual performances on Friday night. It was a statement win.
So glad you got that out, Hayden. Now, the boys have had a vote and they've decided if you want to have anything more to say on this podcast, you got to remove that jumper. So I hope you appreciate it. And look, Benny's not here tonight, and we're probably all a little bit scared of Benny because Benny looks like he could throw down, and we wouldn't want to fuck with him. But Hayden, you're a cat, so we're not really worried about him. We
need Benny here, mate. We need Benny here. The more, the better.
Is that a blue shirt you got underneath there, Hayden?
No, it's a what is it? It's a white shirt, mate.
Oh, that take the rest of the jumper off, mate.
That's the way he walks around in different NRL teams.
I got told that the uniform tonight was Origin, so I'm just doing as the boss says.
Yeah, we need to be a bit more specific. New South Wales Origin.
Yeah, it's funny actually. Like I said, the way you actually jump around NRL teams and wear different jerseys, you're probably the only bloke in history to wear both the New South Wales and a fucking Queensland jumper to the same game. So anyway, let's move on. The player of the match, he's filthy. Look, he's boiling up, eh? He wants to fight us. He's still a Queenslander. Player of the match on Friday night. Our player of the match for the game was Dean Hawkins. As Jay said before, footy Dean, 4 try assists, 2 line break assists, 19 kicks, 640 kick meters, 20 tackles. I think 20 tackles and 21 is pretty impressive for a half as well. Mate, he come in and did his role. It was super impressive. He looked so much more comfortable. I did touch on it. I expected, obviously, Dylan Walker to spend a lot of time on the field, and I don't think he spent much more time on the field, but he played his fucking ass off, Dylan Walker, as Matty said. He literally, don't share that, Jez. Don't put his fucking stupid comments up. He was a man on a mission, Dylan Walker. And him being that man on a mission, it made Dean Hawkins and it made Dylan Brown's roles, and Iongi's as well, so much easier. Like, he wanted to get one up over Manly, and him and Jazz Tavung, obviously, former Warriors teammates, just had a little bit of a running battle. It was great to see. But obviously, Dean took out man of the match. There were so many players. I thought Junior was huge as well. I thought Williams was massive again. Iongi was probably his best game and just keeps going to another level. And Riley played 80. who was really impressive as well. But we'll go around. Obviously, Dean Hawkins, man of the match. Longy, who would you have given it to?
Yeah, I mean, Hawkins is a great shout. He's obviously learned a lot from Moses, which is a bit of that halves development that Galvin's going to miss out on going to the Dogs. But I would have gone Walker. I just think he made a massive difference, made a huge impact. And really, I'm trying to give it to the whole middle forward rotation. So Junior Paulo could have gotten it as well. But against Manly this week, they got a classy back line. They're a bit soft in the middle. We needed to be tough in the middle. We blew them out. So Dylan Walker, Junior Paulo, they're my boys.
Yeah, it's funny, mate. I've got to mention Kit Kat as well, and someone will. But look, Kit Kat had a breakout game. Defensively, I've called him out before. Love the bloke, great bloke, but wouldn't say he's been soft, but he hasn't been taking those hard runs. And I think he's had to do a lot of work on his whole running and how he hits his line. And he certainly nailed that on the weekend. He finally realised how big and how strong he can be. There was no having a break being a Kit Kat, that bloke, because he was all over the place. Jack, your thoughts?
I lean towards Iongi. I tossed up. Hawkins killed it, but that penalty for the drop kick, goal line dropout, it really hurt my soul watching that again. I was going to say, yeah. So Chris reckons it was a time waster, so he gets a pass for that. Look, I was going to say, touch on Kit Kat. His ability the last couple of weeks to confident enough to hit the line and get those offloads up, and every time he throws the ball, it goes straight to someone's chest. I don't see many offloads he throws that go to the ground. His ability to hit the mark every time is great. I actually thought it was probably Hopgood's best game of the year. He looked like he was ready to roll the seats up and get a bit down and dirty, which hasn't been all year. So, look, I'm happy, man. I'll give it to all of them. But we'll go Hawkins. I'll give the goal line a pass.
I don't know how you were filthy about that goal line because I actually had Parramatta by 13 to 18 at $17. Yeah, drop kick obviously went out in the full and Manly had the chance with 30 seconds to go to take the penalty in front. I was fucking stoked when they took the tap. I was pretty filthy. So, gamble responsibly. You win some, you lose most. Troy, man of the match?
Yeah, look, those fellas that have already been mentioned, I agree with those. But, Iongi for me. There was one set there where he made, 2 tackles in a row. He went for a third, but then he also got back and took the kick as well. So, and he's running to the line at pace from a kick return, which is great to see, and that dummy run to score his try. So it's just good to see speed at the back there. And it could have been anyone, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a real team performance. You're right, Matty?
Yeah, I had Iongi just over Hawkins, but obviously you could have gave it to anyone on that field. So shout out to everyone because it was probably our best game. And Iongi just keeps growing. And a lot of people were blowing up. We lost Blaze and Guffo, and now everyone just forgets that because Iongi's just getting better every game and probably the buy of the season.
Unfortunately, he's a Queenslander.
Yeah, speaking of Queenslanders, Scumbag, your thoughts on player of the match?
Yeah, it was between Iongi and Hawkins for me. It actually took me a little while to pick one after walking and leaving this match, but I went with Dean Hawkins. I think we haven't had a genuine number 7 play like this and step up in those big moments like this game as well. Under pressure, close score lines, that sort of thing early on. I want to give props to Dean Hawkins' short kicking game as well. Not a lot of teams can master a short kicking game, that sort of grubber play that we've seen lately. It's more been, long kicks or short dropout straight down the throat. So his short kicking game with 4 try assists to come in and play like that, I was really impressed by Dean Hawkins, and I think he can do a good job at 6 next year if that is our path.
Yeah, for sure. Let's get on to our defender of the match. Defender of the match was Riley Smith. I think it was, as I patiently wait for Jez to bring up the... There we go. 55 tackles at 95%. I was at 98%. They must have found 2 missed tackles to take off him for those fantasy players, obviously, and those super coach players because it changed the day after. 80 minutes performance and 1 kick in the nuts, but he bounced off. Mate, Riley Smith, like I said, I can't love this anymore. I was chatting to him before the game. Still such a genuine human being. Has time for it. Obviously got that photo of Lucas last week and was happy to chat to us before and chat to my brother and my niece as well and just a genuinely lovely dude. I'm so glad he's in blue and gold. I'm so glad we fucked off that other dickhead that wore headgear, and we'll get to that later. But, look, thoughts about your defence. Go to you, Jace. Your thoughts on Riley's performance?
Yeah, one thing with Riley as well is that his kick pressure is amazing, and he just does it for a whole 80 minutes. It's unbelievable. And I think that's one of the big things that's changed for us as well is that kickers are getting less time because of him and because of his kick pressure and also his kick chase. Like both of it, and he's just so fit. He just does not stop. And I just love seeing it. And then he didn't ask me, but my 3-2-1 was Hawkins, Williams, and then Papali'i, obviously. So he eventually learned how to defend on the wing within about 25 minutes. Did a try-saving tackle. Scores a try-saving tackle on debut. What more do you want, man?
I actually didn't mean to miss you out. It's pick on the Queensland tonight, not pick on Jason Knight. That was last week.
2 tries.
Yeah. So obviously, a defender.
I guess you could say try assist as well.
He got try assist, yeah.
One try assist, try saved.
It was almost like the perfect fadeaway pass. Like he could wear a 6 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
There's the agenda.
We're getting to that. All right, relax. I'm trying to keep this place in order. I know it's hard, but we're going to get there. He's all excited to talk about it. Let's move on to the top performers. The top performers, as I said, Iongi stood out, was absolutely huge. 25 runs, Paulo with 20. Paulo really led by example. We'll get a bit more to him later. Iongi with 265 run meters is incredible. Like I said, everyone's kind of said to us in the last couple of weeks, or just actually all year, every time we put this up, they say, look, it's all forwards. Where's the backs? Obviously, Iongi, your fullbacks are always going to top. But look at that. Junior Paulo, 207. Jack Williams, 195. Kit Kat, 188. And Kit Kat's fucking catching on, by the way, guys. Keep it going. He loves it. Everyone's starting. I was talking to him in the sheds half of the game, and everyone's starting to call him Kit Kat. And he goes, it's growing. It's definitely growing. I was like, fuck yes. So, obviously, it tries to Hopgood, Williams, Papali'i, Semrani, Iongi, and Rowley, as I said, with the tackles. And Semrani just gets out and does his job perfectly. Big body, perfect replacement for Zach Lomax. Top performers, Jack, your thoughts?
Well, look, you can't say it based on that, but I just want to shout out the fact that nearly all of our try scorers started with Jay. We had Jermaine, we had Jack, and we had Jordan. Big shout out to the Jays. Absolutely ripped and teared.
You forgot Joash as well.
Joash. Oh, I'm so sorry, Jace. I'm leaving that for Jace. I did that by design. But look, it's good to see the forwards going on. Really happy with how Kikat's developing. I was a bit harsh on him at the start of the year. He was a bit lazy in attack. I'm happy to eat my words. But I'm just a happy guy this week. I'm ignoring all negativity. We've won 2 in a row. We're kicking on.
Yeah, you're right. Speaking of negativity and fuckheads, Hayden, your thoughts on the top performers?
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see. It's good to see a couple of the forwards get in there. Junior, 250th game. His runs early on led the way. You could see that he was in for a big game for his milestone. And Jack Williams, man, he's just getting better and better. I thought when he was out early in the season, we were losing a lot in the forwards, and he's doing a great job in the middle, Jack. We got him on the drum, actually, after the game in the Swarm.
I did see that. That's perfect. Did see it. So, love that. All right, I've got to get my agenda back up because someone just sent me a message. I'll write back to that after. Obviously, top performers, it's time for the big segment, and we hope he's prepared because we never know if he has prepared. If he hasn't prepared, he gets a fucking awesome intro anyway. Just play that man's music as long as...
Math is a wonderful thing. Math is a really cool thing. So get off your ass, let's do some math. Math, 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 math.
Just beautiful. Just beautiful. You know, one day you're going to log in, guys, and Tim Manor will be here instead of me, and you won't know. Could be today. Could be today. Look, the stats were interesting this week. So in previous weeks, we've sort of won in a few areas. And in this week, we won in one key area. So possession was pretty even, about 50-50 there. Completion rates, both about 88%. But the way we won the game was through power running. So post-contact meters, we had about 50 meters more with 628 meters. We ran more run meters at about 1,800. And we had more line breaks, 5-3. Now, the epitome of this, and we're talking about top performers before, was that dog, Jordan Semrani. Now, this guy is a straight-up killer. You can put him on the wing. You can put him at center. You can play him off the bench in the back row. Heck, you can put him at prop if you wanted to. 160 meters, 6 tackle breaks, could not be stopped. If everyone played like Jordan Semrani, we'd be winning the comp this year. So what? The stats just said one thing. It said we ran harder than Manly, and those soft cocks couldn't stand up to us on the day.
I love it. I love it, Molly. There you go.
The silver tails. The silver
Smith.
tails.
Bravo.
As you said, 1 meter is obviously huge. Post contact meter is huge as well, which obviously brings us to our forwards. Our forwards really stood up for this game. Massive in performance. You see the stats there. Paulo led by example. 20 runs, 207 meters, 28 tackles, 63 minutes. There's not one bad performance there. But even when you look at Hopgood, who was obviously down the bottom and obviously did a fair bit of ball playing, took a couple of really nice passes that led to line breaks as well. 9 runs, 72 meters. He's still hitting over that magic 8. And that 8 meters is obviously what you aim for per hit up. And to see him doing that and making 41 tackles in 50 minutes was huge. And Madison, obviously, you know, we spoke about it quite a bit. And guys, me and Ryan Madison did kiss and make up on Friday night. So we're back in each other's good books, I think, either that or he's a very good liar. But 7 runs, 74 meters, he's absolutely killing it. And when we did talk about Ryan Madison, we bagged him out. There was obviously this attitude thing going around and not really trying. I think we all agreed that Ryan Madison playing his best football would be good for Parramatta and be good for the team if he got back to playing his best footy, the footy that saw him play Origin. And he's there. Like, he's not quite there yet, but he's on his way. You know, 7 runs, 74 meters and 30 tackles or something like that in however many minutes he played. It was fucking fantastic. And that's what we want to see more of from Matta. And that's what he needs to keep doing. It's why he keeps his spot in the team. And it gives that option in the middle as well. So, you know, we bring Dylan Walker on. We go to more of a ball player at lock, bringing Madison on then and playing him in that middle with the ability to ball play but take those tough runs is absolutely perfect. So, look, speaking of the forwards, Troy, obviously Junior stood up, but how good was it to see our forwards actually dominate a team for probably the first time in 3 years?
Well, yeah, it's been a long time, hasn't it? And look, they're the ones who lay the platform for the rest of the team, and they certainly did that. I mean, I think they were probably having a little bit of a competition between each other, to be honest. Whatever one did, one wanted to do better. So, yeah, no, everyone stood up, and it was great to see. Now the key is to do consistently this week again.
Yeah, as I'm saying, the standards have been set. We've got to keep backing it up. You agree with that, Hayden?
Absolutely. I didn't know there was added input there. I thought it was
Man,
just
a few words.
Yeah, obviously
He's
we've
actually a
seen.
bit surprised because the first time we've asked him a question, haven't bagged him out. I've actually called him by his name. He's like, me? You talking to me?
Obviously, we saw the stats there. We saw how good the forwards were. As I said early on, you could see that. Even Luca Moretti on that edge, his minutes were small at 34, but I thought early on in that game, he provided some good impact as well. So, you know, that whole forward pack was just doing its job on Friday night. And as Troy said, it's so important to bring that same energy on Sunday to our home game against the Panthers.
You're right. And you talk about the forwards minutes, and obviously the forwards minutes are down. I'm about to go to you, Matty. And the forwards minutes were down for one reason, because Junior's performance in game 250, not that one, the special Junior Paulo one where we're acknowledging him, is coming. I hope it's there. I can't see Jez. I don't know if he's throwing his hands in the air. There he is. I need to scroll up, Jez, so I can see it, so I can give you the look. 20 runs, 207 run meters, 60 post contact, 28 tackles, 63 minutes. That was beast mode for Junior Paulo. He didn't look like stopping. I forgot to add the unattempted or faked field goal. I wish he fucking had a crack, eh? I think
the intercept as well.
Yeah, look, he was thinking about that field goal, and he thought to himself, I do not want to cop it in the sheds at halftime if they somehow fucking score from this and we go in at 16-all. But, Matty, your thoughts on his performance?
Yeah, as I said, like, we've called him out in the past, and he's been rumoured to be retiring at the end of the year, but he'll just keep pushing on, and he proves that he still adds to this team. And when I saw him through all the guys, everyone left at half time, but he kept them in the middle in the huddle and was laying down the law. I'm like, there's no way he's letting us lose this game. So, but the biggest moment is when Brady goes straight through and had no idea where he was. He was like, where am I? Like, but yeah, it was good by the forwards, and it's about time they start realizing how big and strong they are.
Yeah, correct. He absolutely nailed it. Look, as we did say, obviously, Jez, I'll go this time because I'm throwing you on the bus here, and I wasn't going to go that next one. But Joash Papali'i, as we said, late change. Matt Dory out. Joash came in. It was fucking handy coming, obviously, with Will Penasini going in early. So let's talk about Joash's debut. What impressed you? And we've got to go Jace first, obviously, on this one because, look, he's stunned. He's still in love. Jace, Joash's performance, what did it do for you? And I'm talking about at the ground, not when you get home.
I just think Joash is electric. And we keep talking about, and we were talking about it last year as well, who's going to be our X factor. Of course, Moses is our X factor. But now we've got, Iongi, Kit Kat. We've got these players that can bring something extra to the team. And I think Joash is that. He's got that quick step acceleration. He's got that just natural playmaker where he can do certain things that other players can't do and make certain passes and fool the opposition, fool the defender. I think that's what he brings to the team. It's just that extra bit of scariness, if you want to put it that way, where instead of just running at him and just tackling him, they're gonna watch him and see what he does, and that makes our attack a lot better. Now, look, he made 2 poor defensive decisions, but so what? Like, other than that, he is already at a level that is, I think, I'm going to call it scary. He's already at that level, and he's been compared to RTS, and I think that's a fair comparison, and he could definitely be just as successful. And RTS again started his career on the wing, so we'll see how Josh goes.
Yeah, like I said, obviously it was an incredible performance, and we'll get to him being named later in the obviously podcast as well, and how we use him and what the future plans are for Joash. But we've got to find a way to have him in the team. It was an incredible performance. Look, we're going to go some fan questions now. We're obviously going to touch on Joash a bit more later when we get to that team list and the plans around using him and the plans for the future. We had some fan questions come in earlier, so Jez is going to chuck them up for me. Because there it is. How can we insert Papali'i into this squad without putting him at fullback? Longy, your thoughts on this?
Oh, it's a tough one, isn't it? I mean, he can play that utility role off the bench, and there's usually an opportunity somewhere there. We could find a way to put him into maybe a wing spot or a center spot. We have a few injuries to Simonson, and Lomax is out with Origin. You're not taking that fullback spot off Iongi. He's been fantastic so far. There's a play you could make where you say, all right, we're playing towards the future. Let's give him a shot at 6 and run Dylan Brown in another position. The issue is Brown would fill those same spots, like those center spots, and we're not going to play Brown as a ball-playing lock because we've got the best one in the league in Dylan Walker coming off the bench there. So it's very challenging. I think he might have to bide his time a bit and play off the bench and fill spots. And as the year progresses, if it looks like we're not going to make finals, which isn't what I expect, but if it does, then we might start thinking about next year and play him at 6.
Jack, what are you thinking about in relation to this?
I think he slide in as utility. I kind of see him how Melbourne used Farlongo for a bit, kind of Mr. Fix-It. I don't think we can really call Walker a utility for us that much. He kind of jumps on. He has his role. He's that ball playing 13 that comes on after 20. Keep Joash there. He played a bit of 9 in the juniors a little bit, so if Riley's burned out, jump in there for a little bit. He can fix it on the centers. He can put him really anywhere for that little 20-minute spark just to come on and just rip through that tired middle of defense that some teams have.
Yeah, I think you've nailed that. You pretty much said what I was going to say. Having him as that 17 and having Dylan Walker as the 13, we know Walker's going to go to lock and Hopgood comes back to the bench there. We're essentially carrying 3 forwards on the bench. Walker's obviously a lock, which is a forward anyway. So he's not covering that normal utility role. And I know it makes it a bit weaker, but you look at the fitness of some of our forwards. Like Kit Kat can get through 80 easily. Obviously, Williams can get through 80 and play middle and second row. And Walker can play big minutes. Hopgood can play big minutes if he needs to as well. Luca Moretti's fit as fuck. Junior Paul played 63 minutes. We can have that 17 role. I know it's traditionally a 14 role, but that 17 role where he comes on and covers everything. Because when you work it out, him being on the bench with how versatile our rest of our team is, there is not one place we cannot put him. We can rotate things around to put him there. Like if our 5'8" goes down, we can chuck him at 5'8". He's got the experience to play there. That's fine. It's not ideal, but we can put him there. We saw on the weekend, a center went down. Someone moved the centers. He went to the wing. He can go to fullback if he needs to. He can go to 9 if he really needs to. You could even play him at lock and just defend him, in the centers or 5'8", put Dylan Brown to lock. There's so many options, but I think long term, and this is the thing we're talking about long term, if there is a plan for Joash Papali'i to play 5'8" next year, he needs to go back to New South Wales Cup for a bit. And as sad as that seems, because we know the energy he brings, he needs to take his time in New South Wales Cup and develop himself into a 5'8". I think that's what's going to happen naturally. I think when we get our full team back on the park, obviously, we've got Bailey still to come back, Will Penasini to come back. Joash will drop out of the team and he'll go to 5'8" in New South Wales Cup. What that means for someone like, obviously our current team, Dean Hawkins as your halfback, and I've completely fucking forgotten our 5'8's name that played earlier in the year. Volkman, yeah. Volkman. He's on there as well. But if they're not part of the plans for next year, if they're not going to be a genuine chance of starting at 6 next year in 2026 season, I don't really care what happens to them, to be honest. If they're not in the plans, because I do think Josh Pavlip is right up there. I think anyone will really argue with that. Let's obviously move on.
Altman just extended, didn't he? So
he extended. He 100% extended, but I think he can play fullback in that as well. Obviously, Josh is filling that in New South Wales Cup, so you can play Josh at fullback and give him a 5'8" attacking role if you really need to fit them all in. But it's a good problem to have.
The one thing I'll add is when we did speak to him after the game, there was a few things that were said. One thing was said to him was by one of the trainers was start practicing at hooker as like a traditional 14 role. And when we asked him what happened in that, he just goes, "I got told to be ready for anything." And he goes, "My aim is now is to not drop out of first grade. I want to stay in first grade." So he's got that great attitude as well that he's doing whatever the team needs and also willing to do whatever and improve himself to make sure he's in a spot week in, week out.
And I shout out too with these young playmakers. Like you talk about Volkman, Papali'i, Riley Smith, all these guys. They're all between 20 and 22 years old. So one thing to caveat this with is you're not entitled to a starting first grade spot straight away, and they're developing under some awesome playmakers ahead of them too. So this is a great problem to have. They're young guys. I think they're going to evolve into something special for us, and we're winning a comp in the next 5 years.
Let's hope so. I'll take it.
Perfectly said.
Yes, Gus.
Let's go on to the next question. Let's go to the next question, guys. Look, I tied these all into one. They're all obviously based around Lenzo. Could he make a debut next year? Is he ready now? Dylan Brown debuted at 18. Who's going to be our long-term 6? Will Lorenzo get a look in New South Wales Cup this year? Look, naturally, when Mitchell Moses goes into the next Origin game, which we're assuming will happen, obviously, depending on how tomorrow night goes and if him and Cleary can work together, I think naturally there is a chance that Lorenzo ends up in New South Wales Cup for that week. As we said, you've got Volkman, you've got Dean Hawkins are obviously doing a job, but the kid obviously stepped up in a jersey flag the last couple of games and was super impressive on the weekend. I see him as a long-term 5'8". Every step he's had to make has been impressive, and there is a number of those SG ball players already moved into jersey flag. Dom's debuting in jersey flag this week. Josiah, some of the forwards as well. Tom Sumner, there's I think 5 or 6 of them, the fullback as well. Cameron, he's playing fullback as well. They're naturally making their way through the grades already. They keep putting pressure on New South Wales Cup, and they'll get their opportunities. If they keep playing better, they'll get their opportunities. As we said, it's a fucking great problem to have because the problem we haven't had for quite a while, the depth that we have now. It's glorious to see. Next question, Jeremy. Do we spend money on improving our forward pack and trust our junior halves? Ties in the halves. Let's go to you, Matty. Forward pack, would you be looking to bolster it up, or are you going to back some of those young forwards coming through as well?
A bit of both, I reckon. I reckon we hit the market, maybe a bit more experience forwards to add in, give them a couple years to help the young ones coming through develop. It'll last too much money. But yeah, I just feel like just get a couple more old heads in the forward pack. Maybe someone like Nelson add a bit more aggression and to teach Sam and all these players we've got coming through. But yeah, as you said, it's a good problem to have because we're winning all 3 grades almost every week now. So
it's great. It's a little bit of a unity and obviously a strong club all around the board. We saw how the SG ball went as well and how the Harold Matts, like the juniors, have been absolutely killing all year. So that's a great problem to have. Troy, your thoughts? You're signing forward?
Yeah, I think so. Just to strengthen it up a little bit. You got Tony Mattelli coming through. Sam's injured at the moment as well, so they're obviously hopefully going to be sticking around for a long term. I think they just extended as well. But yeah, probably just a little bit more. It doesn't have to be a superstar forward player, just a reasonable first grader who's had a bit of experience and can do a job and help these younger forwards.
I think we've got it. I think we've actually got it there. Like what you just said opened it up for me. Sam Tuivasa coming through. Sam Tuivasa obviously reminds me a fair bit of Junior Paulo, that bigger body. I never want to see a time where Junior Paulo and Sam start at the same time. I like Lucas starting with Junior because he's, I guess, got so much more movement across the field and just offers such a different style of play in the front row. I'd like to see it so we are going to chase someone similar to, that smaller forward build that can obviously hit those gaps, run those lines, provide the offload as well if they need to. But I personally still believe that Hopgood can be that player in the front row if we needed him to be. Hayden, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I kind of like Matt's suggestion there of Big Nelson. I'm not the massive fan of Nelson, but as a player, I think we are lacking just that little bit in the forward. And I like the idea of Matt said an old head. You know, you obviously look at teams like the Dragons who have gone over old players like David Clemmer, that sort of thing, but they still bring lots of experience to within that team. So someone like Nelson for me, because we've obviously got those great young halves coming through that we can back. I still think the money probably needs to be spent potentially on a centre, a really strike centre, as well as getting someone.
A strike centre. Who are you naming? Who do you want?
Joey Manu.
I want Joey Manu.
Joey Manu.
I mean, Joey Manu would be nice, wouldn't
Jordan
he?
Ricky.
I thought we had to be like realistic. I don't know.
Herbie.
We need fucking realistic. We've got that much money in our salary cap. We haven't spent our buddy Clint Gutherson money yet. You can pick who you want to pick.
Not a lot of centers off contract. Like Tommy Talau is there. Braden Burns. Yeah, Solomon Fair-Tape.
Joey Manu.
Good when you think about it.
Obviously Joey Manu.
All right, let's get on.
Jordan Ricky, second row. Just saying.
I think we've got one more question.
Harrigan.
One more question.
Jared Hayne.
That's a bit of a long one. G'day, boys. Obviously, the big talking point will be Galvin. I'd like to hear the guys' thoughts on how this decision affects Mitch's relationship with Galvin. Obviously, Mitch has acted as a bit of a mentor to him. I hope he pulled the pin on that part of the relationship. I hope he pulls that. Yeah, got you. Drew McDonald sent to me by Facebook. Yeah, look, he probably is. He looked pretty filthy in his interview the other night. Matt, do you want to touch on that?
Yes, he did look pretty angry. But yeah, Mitch is Mitch. I think he'll get over it. He'll move on to the next. But I feel like he's probably let down due to the fact of he's spent so much time over the last 18 months or whatever developing a relationship. He saw him as his next half partner. Obviously, he was, as soon as Dylan announced, he was ready to go. And I'm pretty hurt by it. So I can just imagine what Mitch is feeling right now. But he's a professional, and whoever he has next to him will make a better player anyway. So,
sure. We're going to get on to the Galvin news. First, I'm just going to give you one more chance, as we are giving away, obviously, a hoodie tonight. All you have to do is share this podcast. Once you've shared the podcast, comment shared, we'll draw it at the end of the night. You do have to be here to win it, but we'll guarantee to give it away. You've got 30 seconds to claim it. Let's get on to the Galvin news and my wonderful graphic. I had one prepared to go either way. I'm actually pretty proud of this. It went quite a bit. I hope everyone gets this reference, obviously, with the Nickelback meme. It was a massive thing a few years ago. But
look at this photograph.
Please, Troy. No
Beautiful.
Singing from you. If anyone gets to sing, it's me or Longy, your band. You're
Troy, I
officially-
already have PTSD every time I hear flame trees. I don't need to hear it for photograph, please.
Mate, you don't have PTSD just listening to Nickelback in general. I thought everyone had that, but
Wait to the bowling event, mate.
all right, let's this mic will be fucking hidden from me, that's for sure. Let's start on this because people want to blow up, people want us to blow up, people want us to call out Jim, they want us to call out Mark O'Neill, they want us to put it as a failure. Now, I want to start with this, and obviously last year, 2024, we called these blokes out. We've got to know them a bit better since. Now, everyone's going to turn and say, you're up their ass, all this shit, blah, 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 blah. You can't say what you want. We can say what we want. We're just better informed now. And the reason we're better informed is because we've had this conversation. Okay? Now, it is a failure on the club. And the reason it's a failure on the club is because it looks bad. We've come out, we've identified him as a target. Okay? Jason Riles has come out in a press conference and he's said, we want Lachlan Galvin. The biggest concern for me is that we missed him. And the reasons we missed him: we have a new centre of excellence. We have the money. We're in desperate need of a 5'8". We're a club with 35,000 members, one of the best stadiums in the in the game. Obviously, Suncorp and probably Allianz top that as well. But CommBank is a great stadium as well. And the concern for me is with all that and the relationship that Lachlan Galvin had with the club, we still couldn't get him on board. Now, by all reports, Isaac Moses has absolutely fucked the club over. And that's not coming from anyone I've mentioned before, okay? All reports, we thought this was a done deal up until Friday night. Now, I noticed the mood change on Friday night with some key people around Parramatta, and that's obviously when they got the news. Even after those wins, there still wasn't a lot of smiles. Obviously, Isaac Moses was at the game. Isaac Moses was spotted talking to Gus Gould at the game. So first of all, Gus Gould, go fuck yourself. It's as simple as that. That's all I want to say about that. There is a severe conflict of interest between Phil Gould, obviously running the Bulldogs and being in the media. He's put this idea out here, and he's got exactly what he wants. And the NRL should be investigating for anti-tampering because he's tampered with this before the contract was obviously there. Now, the belief is obviously his former high school coach, the assistant coach of the Bulldogs, was the reason he gets there. I think as a club, we need to find a way to make players want to come to our club. That's the biggest problem. Now, that's not a target of any single person in our club. I'm not calling out anyone for that because I know they tried their asses off and they're all pretty devastated about this. Okay. Obviously, like I said, Moses screwed us over. All reports he was coming to Parramatta, just like Blaze Salungi. Blaze Salungi was staying at Parramatta and he left as well. The concern for me now is what can we do as a club to obviously make these players want to come because they need to want to come to Parramatta. We talk about the sleeping giant in the West and how big we can be as a club. It's time to prove it, eh? We need to start to land one of these signatures because it's embarrassing for us to miss out. Matt, I'm going to let you go first, even though you spoke about it. I know how passionate you've been about this whole Lockie Galvin thing.
When I got the phone call, like obviously everyone knows I could probably walk to his house right now.
Get your fucking eggs.
Every time I've seen him, it's been Parra. In my head, I see his dad walking around the shops with a Parra hat on. So it's literally, this is like Hayne going to Gold Coast for me. I thought Dylan and Blaze leaving, but yeah, I just think, and now that I've looked at it, like when I got the news on Sunday, I'm like, yeah, there's no way this is real and whatever. And yeah, like I got on to you boys going, hang on, what's going on here? Because in my head, he was coming to Parra. Like it's all led to Parra. But then looking at the interview with Jerome saying how he mucks around too much at training and he's still in that high school football mindset. Well, this has just proved it to me. Like and what I'm hearing whispers around this area is he was all but coming to Parra, and his old high school coach or whatever rang him on Saturday and flipped him. And as we all know, he's got his high school coach's sayings tattooed on his arms and whatever it is, and he's obsessed with his high school coach. But, well, guess what? His high school coach is only an assistant coach. He's not going to save you at the Dogs. You see Jerome come out in the press, and this is what started the whole thing where he's like, I have to pull him in line at training. He mucks around too much. He doesn't take it seriously. And this is what I feel like he's still in that high school football mindset, because we know what the season he had in high school where he went undefeated the whole season, won the grand final, got player of the match, whatever. He still wants that, and he thinks he can get that at Dogs now because his high school coach is there, and he's going to turn up to training and muck around and be a 19-year-old. And then what's going to happen when he puts pen to paper? Because he still hasn't put pen to paper. What's going to happen when they're like, oh, we've changed our mind now, you're going to be a lock. And then his high school teacher gets shoved to another team or something. Like, he can't go and ask for another release. Like,
yeah, you can't. Sorry, what was that? Yeah. I'll go Longy. I'm not sure if you got to leave early. No, you didn't tell me. You got to leave early? No?
I do, but I can stay for this.
Yeah, go on. Have you say.
Look, I'm just going to focus on, like, objectively the decision he's made, right? So I remember when Isaiah Papali'i left Parramatta thinking, oh, man, that guy just cost himself $1 million. And I think Galvin's made a similar mistake here. So you talk about the Dogs being a better place for development, blah, blah, all this BS I'm hearing in the media. It's absolute trash. So you look at the players who have gone to the Dogs. Reid Marnie was a fringe origin player when he left Parramatta and went to the Dogs. He's now getting offered to the market. Matt Burton was a fringe origin player. He's now a fringe origin player years later. Like, they're not bringing these guys on. Whereas you go to Parramatta, like Dylan Brown, Mitch Moses came to us as young guys. Mitch Moses is the premier half in the game, and Dylan Brown just got himself a $1.4 million contract. So what better place to play if you want money, if you want to play rep footy, if you want to be developed as a half than Parramatta. So big mistake, Lockie Galvin. Look, he'll go there. He'll play. I don't know what they're going to do, configuration of their roster wise. I don't really care. Like, we can just go find someone else. It's a great position to come to. Someone's going to come. They're going to dominate, and they're going to surpass Galvin anyway. I can say that with confidence because I think we'll get someone good.
Yeah, love it. All right, Longy, thanks for joining us again. You can fuck off now. You didn't get your Origin say. Give us
Bye, Longy.
Lose by 30. See you, boys.
See ya. All right, he's gone. I've just got to do some readjusting because we know how much it affects me. There we go. So much better. So who haven't I been to? Everyone else. Jack, your thoughts?
Look, I don't understand it from Galvin's position. Parramatta, boyhood club. There was a clear plan. He'd jump into 6 with his mentor. Mitch would develop him for the next few years. Mitch retires. Galvin takes over the team. Clear-cut plan, can't fail. Goes to the Dogs who already have a spine in place. He doesn't know where he's playing. I've heard reports he can play 6, 7, 13. It's all up in the air. They're now panicking because they have to get rid of players and shed cap to afford him. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It's a bad look on Parra where all things made sense for him to sign with us. Like, everything fell into place for him to come and we still didn't get him. I don't know the in or out, so I won't make my comment on that. But it's frustrating, but I spent my Sunday afternoon watching Lorenzo highlights and I felt a lot better about it afterwards. He's going to come in, absolutely kill it. He's, a year younger than Galvin? Give him 2 years. He'll be the premier 5'8". So it's a win-win in long game. Just got to play that long game for a little bit longer. We'll be right.
Just hold up. We've got to change this. We've got to go this one, and I've got to work out how to get rid of that. How do we get rid of that, Jez? Because obviously that's still there. He's gone. We've got to go like this because the OCD is obviously doing everyone's head in. Now you don't get the top job. There we go. Oh, fucking that. You're in it. Okay, so much better. Someone pointed out that it wasn't lined up and it was doing my fucking head in. I couldn't handle it, so I had to change it. The OCD was getting to me. Now I know where I am. Hayden, your thoughts on this situation?
Yeah, it's an extremely frustrating one. We obviously look like we were getting Galvin there for a while. There was hints at him through Instagram. There was speaking of word of mouth. There was all these different things. But look, I've been pretty harsh on the club in the past, and I don't know if it's the club's fault. We've obviously heard, as long as these decisions are true, that we match the Bulldogs' offer and then raise that offer as well. So for what we've offered for Galvin, it wasn't necessarily considered as overs, but he has made that decision, which it may not be the right decision for him, which is changing this whole Bulldogs spine, which is crazy that they're changing it all for him to be there. I personally don't see Galvin as a long-term number 7, maybe in the future, but right now I see him playing 6, his best footy, and that's where he would have been playing 6 with Mitchell Moses playing his best footy. But as far as the club, I don't know if you can completely blame them because they did their best in this particular option to get Galvin, from what we've heard at least. And yeah, he's made this decision, and I think it'll bite him on the bum, mate.
You can say arse, like it's not a PG show. But
I think I prefer bum. I think it worked better with that situation.
So I didn't want to swear.
Yeah, fair. Troy? Sorry, before you talk, I just want to highlight some of the comments as well. We actually didn't offer him more money, much more money at all than what it's been said. People saying 100K, a lot more. We didn't offer him more money because we thought the deal was done. We thought we were getting him, obviously, due to Isaac Moses. So I just want to highlight that. Go, Troy.
Well, look, if he did come to Parramatta, he might have had the opportunity to become the next number 6 to win a premiership at Parramatta. So, anyway, I'm glad he's gone to the Dogs because I think they're going to start imploding now. There's going to be games being played. Yeah, well, it's already happening, yeah. But, look, you can't blame the club for that. I mean, as you said, they did everything they could to get him. They thought they had him. At the end of the day, it's his decision which club he goes to. So he's made that decision. As you said at the top there, we've got the best centre of excellence, best stadium. The talk about the Dogs being in a better position than Parramatta, well, yeah, at the moment, this season, yes. But look, they only made the semi-finals last year. Where were they before that? So that's 2 years. So I don't know.
You touched on something I want to bring up. I'm going to ask the question of Jason. Like you said, it was his decision. He made his decision. We don't want to be that club where someone makes it. We want to be that club where someone fucking wants to come to. And that's the problem I have with all this. Like, it's embarrassing that we missed out on him. That's the biggest point I want to make. Jason, How do we become that club?
Yeah, I'm going to answer it, and I'll do a bit of a typical journo and do a bit of a roundabout answer. But the issue here is that, in my opinion, is that there's been a conspiracy from the start. A conspiracy between Isaac Moses and Mr. Phil Gus Gould. Now, Dylan Brown is involved in this conspiracy, and in my respectful opinion, Isaac Moses does not care for anything except for money. And to be fooled by anything except for that, I think is a misnomer. Like, we just can't. It's nonsensical to believe that the only persuasive tool here is money, and that's how we have to improve. Gus Gould is the master of the third party deal, and we need to get better at doing that. Yes, there was a failure by the club. Yes, we should have got him, but I think our third parties and the way that we do it is just not there. It's not cutting it with the other clubs that know how to do it and know how to do it well. Now, I understand, because third-party deals is what got us in trouble in 2016 when we got the salary cap stuff, and we've been avoiding it since then. We've been one of the lowest legitimate third-party deals since 2017 till now. So we need to get on top of that. We need to, and look, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe we are, but it just seems like we're not cutting it with the bigger clubs, Broncos, Melbourne, and now Penrith, now the Dogs. Now, that's what Gus does. Gus knows how to manipulate the cap. I think better than most people do, and we need someone that knows how to do that, or someone to assist that knows how to do that, to get us over the line for these sort of deals. Because I guarantee you, Lachlan Galvin is getting $1 million a year. Isaac Moses is getting 30% of that, plus a car, plus a house, plus the next door neighbor is also getting a little shed for his own, and they're all getting everything they need on the side. And it doesn't matter what we had. It's only what they were getting and that's why he is going to the Dogs.
Fair point. And obviously, third-party deals is a completely different thing. I still want to be that club, and obviously our club's taken a stance on it before, and I'm going to bring someone else in for this because it's relevant to him. I don't want to be that club that has to pay overs for players just to attract players. Now, Jeremy can touch on this. The Newcastle Knights, Pezzett, Mitchell Moses, there's a long list of players they've tried to target recently who they've wanted, and they couldn't get them. They couldn't land them. Now they've been forced into a situation they've had to pay $1.3 million for a player that isn't worth $1.3 million just to land it. Would you rather us be a club that obviously struggles to land these players or be desperate? Jez, how does it feel to be obviously supporting a club that has to pay over suppliers just to get them to come to your club? And Ponga's a fine example too. They took a massive risk on Ponga.
We did, and that's where a lot of our cap's tied up as well. So it's the double-edged sword. You chase these players, you pay them absolute overs, and then you can't afford anybody else. I think the rot started in the Tinkler era for the Knights, putting a lot of money into all these players and not getting much result for it. But we were known for the retirement home for a little bit there as well. I think our biggest signing was Mitchell Pearce, but that only came off the back of a drama. So it sucks. And it's not something that you want to be in a place of, and it's not something that you can really get behind every week. And it leaves you with that feeling of, who are we going to sign next? Who are we going to throw a hell of a lot of cash at for no reason? And how long do we have to put up with this player for? So we'll see what happens with Dylan Brown.
Yeah, it's a valid point. All right. So, Jez, actually, we'll bring you back for Origin. Don't worry. You can fuck off now.
And there's a lot of people asking why Calvin hasn't signed with the Dogs yet, because the Dogs can't afford him. They have to get rid of money out of their cap to get him in. Yeah. That's the other part of the conspiracy here. They never have afforded him.
Yeah, they weren't expecting him to be released so soon and whatever, Gus. But I just find it strange that when you look at what these players are earning from all the reports, like, they're all earning under 300-400K, and they're like leading the comp, and they've just got upgrades, but they're still earning that much. So kind of makes you wonder, because I know from the past when our players we've signed for less, we've been told by the NRL this whole market value crap, we're not registering his contract for that. So why, you know what I mean? But Gus can register an Origin player. Well, King's now an Origin player, and he's only on like 250K. So that's got to be upgraded because now he's an Origin player. But then you've got Crichton that jumped ship from Penrith, but apparently he's only on 700k. So you've got Lockie Galvin going there, and he's going to be the highest paid player there. Doesn't
Can I add to that? Because Kickout was the same, right? Kickout went from Penrith to the Dogs for unders, and all happy chappy. That was the same thing. Reports of seeing them in the lift. Then Mr. Loudy, is it Loudy? He went on radio and was asked, "How'd you get Kickout? That's amazing, great stuff." And he goes, "Oh, we offered him this guaranteed future value shares deal, where if he puts $10,000 in, we give him back $1 million after 4 years."
Yeah,
Bill Gould then had to go on television and retract it and say, "Oh, Larry doesn't know what he's talking about. That was a different deal. That's all bullshit." I'm sorry, that's the truth. There is third-party deals going on that aren't registered, that are done in legal ways to avoid the NRL rules and have loopholes and things like that, where maybe the shares are put in his mum's name, and then there's a way of guaranteeing that value in the future through another avenue, like a trust. There are ways to do these things legally, and I know we don't want to touch them, but other clubs are doing them, and other clubs are securing top players for chump change.
We could talk about this all night, but Jason's just guaranteed we're going to get a phone call off Channel 9 or SEN or someone tomorrow with that statement. So I will
Lucky we've got a lawyer on the panel.
I just want to ask one question. Is it time for us to get a proper recruitment officer to help secure these deals? Because it seems to me, and I know we try our ass off to get these players, but it just seems to me we just can't get it over the line when other clubs are involved. Because the last players we've signed are either reserve grade players, rookies, or fringe first graders.
Would you say,
other than Zach Lomax, which no other club I know was going for him other than us? And it's
Peter
like
Carpenter's a recruitment officer. I believe he went to the Bulldogs. I don't know if he's still there. I'm not sure what the case was.
No, I think he retired last year. I don't think he's still there.
I know the game's gone away from the generic recruitment officers side of things, because you got to look at recruitment officers to go out and do a lot of scouting, and so much is done online these days. Obviously, there's still recruitment officers at junior level and that work under Mark O'Neill, but I guess every single club has probably changed away from recruitment officer to a general manager of football. That means they've got more say in, obviously, the coaching, not the coaching side of things, but more investment into it as well. And I think that's how it's probably going to stay. It's one of those roles that, look, it's called a general manager of football, but he's essentially still doing a recruitment officer role as well. I don't think they'll change. But let's move on from that. I will say one thing to close, and then we'll get to the next topic. Yes, the Chinese meals are suck you, and I forgot about that one. Look, if anyone obviously wants any deals done, just go to the Belmore. You'll be able to walk out whatever the fuck you want, because obviously that Chinese meal is very succulent there. But what I will say is, watching the team on Friday night, I don't feel like we need a star 5'8". With Mitchell Moses on the field, even without Mitchell Moses on the field, only developing quickly, and Riley Smith, I think we need to spend the big money on a 5'8". We look like we're going to be one of those teams where everyone just steps in and does their role. Now, I don't think anyone will argue this, even Jack, that looking at that game on Friday night, out of our spine, including our 13, because you can't say Dylan Walker's not part of our spine when Dylan Walker's on the field, Hayden, can you? Stupid Queenslander. So Dylan Brown was the least effective player on the field. He had the least involvement in that game, and he was our 5'8". So if we need to bring someone like Dean Hawkins in to play 5'8" next year, Lorenzo Talatini, if he's ready to go, Joash Papali'i to develop and obviously play, more of that stepping around, versatile 5'8" to chime in on the backline moves. I think we need to spend the money on it. I think we've dodged a bullet by spending that big money, because as people have said before, we need to get some more forwards and another outside back, and that's huge money we can spend now, as well as all these young juniors coming through will have the money to keep. Look, as we always said, the grass is always green on the other side. I think Lachlan Galvin might find this out as well. Speaking of the grass is always green on the side, fuck you, Reed. We're not all going to get a say on this one. I just need to say that because I was asked to put this post up last night, and it went off. Absolutely went off. One of our sponsors wanted this post put up. So as our sponsors do when they ask, we give them what they want just so they can have their say. And look, he left for more money to go to the Dogs. I've obviously had a fight with his mum before, so if she comes into my DMs again, it'll be fun. But, it's one of those things. He left for more money, and now he's been given the arse. And our Lord and Saviour, Riley Smith, is here to do the job now. No, Reed is not coming back to Parramatta. I know how much satisfaction every Parramatta fan gets out of that. Moving on, obviously, we've extended some players this week as well. Some big signings. Will Penasini had the player option, which I think has been renegotiated out. He signed a 2026. So is Tony Mattelli. Enrolled Volkman under 26, and Sam Tuivati, the big one, obviously one of the breakout juniors this year, extended till the end of 2027. Great to see. Troy, how excited are you? Will's obviously sticking around for at least 1.5 more years.
Yeah, well, he'll be scoring my first tries, hopefully. Not like Friday night after he was off after a minute and a half, unfortunately. But look, he hasn't had the best of seasons this year, but look, it's good that he's sticking around for a little bit longer.
Yeah. Jay, Sam Tuivati, big signing for the club.
Yeah, he's going to be that big body that we need, I think, and maybe even, if he does progress quite quickly and develop well, maybe even put aside some concerns about getting a big name forward to fill that gap, because he's got the talent, he's got the size. Did Fox also get extended as well?
Correct. That happened yesterday. So.
Yeah, it's so good, like 5 players in a short period of time that are all willing to commit, and there was a few comments as well, in favour of the club, things that we did get Lomax. We've got Moses for life now. We brought Fox here. So we've done some good things. The club has done some good things, and these re-signings are great for the club as well.
I agree. And our depth, we were talking about obviously with our halves and our depth and the juniors are coming through. I think our club is in the best position it has been for years. Like, people are pissed off. They want to have their say because we missed out on one player. I get it. Like I said, it's embarrassing we missed out on him because we identify him as a target. I don't think we ever, I know we put it out there as great content stuff, but I don't think we ever needed him. I said, obviously, when Brown left, we need to back our future and some of these future stars coming through. Lorenzo Talatini, Lincoln Fletcher's the Australian under-19s halfback last year. Got some absolute weapons coming through the juniors. You don't know what could come through and what could step up. So I think we need to be in a rush to go sign something just for the sake of signing something. Like I said, it's money to use elsewhere. Club's doing a pretty good job in that regard. Centre of Excellence open this week. Obviously, I know a few people have been out there and the game was there. It's state of the art. Like, I think it's the biggest rugby league facility in the world now. Me and Troy had a toy. Me and Troy had a toy. That sounds like another night, but me and Troy had a tour of this before it opened. As part of the SGA stuff a long time ago, and obviously it looked nothing like this. But it's like a little village, isn't it, Troy?
It is. We turned around every corner, and there was something new and something different there. And we saw it when it was in progress, getting built, and can't wait to see it already built because, as you said, it's the world's biggest rugby league facility in the world. It's got everything for both men, women, and the juniors as well. So that is obviously going to be a game changer getting players to the club as well, because there is no other facility like it. And the good part about it is it's also for the community as well.
I know some of the younger players the club's been looking to sign in the junior reps and stuff and extend long-term, been taken for tours of the facility. And as soon as they've seen it, said, sign me up. Like, the rehab facilities there as well. Not the rehab you need, Troy. Like the rehabilitation after games. Those facilities are fucking top notch. Absolutely amazing. And I wish I opened when we went there because when we went for a tour, I was still on crutches. Shut up, Matt. I was still on crutches. And there was no lift working. Go on, Matt. Talk.
No, I'm just saying we saw Adokar post today, him in one of the many infrared saunas they got there, and it looks amazing.
For sure. Let's move on from that. We obviously have a game this week. That was good. That was really good. That's a comment of the night, Lachlan. Game this week, Sunday, 1st June, 4:05, Combank Stadium, Paradise. Look, it is our home game, even though it's our away game. It's at Parramatta Stadium. Parramatta fans, please get there. It's obviously going to be a very Parramatta-dominated ground. Jez, I think it's time. I think we play that video now. Look, if you're not fucking pumped up for the game, I hope you know the video I'm talking about. Not Troy singing. Please don't fucking do that to us again. But let's go to that video and get pumped up, Parramatta fans, because this is our...
And today is the day to be celebrated for the first sporting event ever to be played at Parramatta Stadium.
When she was just a girl, she expected the world, but it flew away from her reach, so she ran away in her sleep, dreaming of paradise. paradise, paradise, paradise. Every time she closed her eyes.
I mean, else that makes me fucking pumped up, eh? Like, I'm so keen
Well,
to
that's
take
been
over.
hard.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to taking over our home ground when it's meant to be Penrith's home game. It's going to be fucking amazing. I expect Parramatta fans to double the amount of Penrith fans there. So if you haven't already bought your tickets, obviously make sure you buy your tickets. It is the Paradise Takeover. Because I'm going to throw under the bus here and go to our Paradise Takeover one, and obviously we'll go to the team list after that. But look, there is an event before the game at Parramatta Leagues Club. The Eels have put out. I think it's about $30, includes some food. If you can't make that event, obviously just gather at Leagues Club from 1 o'clock, 3:15 outside the Leagues Club, and march to the ground. We make a noise the whole way in. Obviously, the Swarm will be leading that march. Hayden will be front and centre leading it. And let's take over that ground. We did it against the Tigers. There's more Parramatta fans there. Penrith fans are whinging. They can't travel half an hour to game. I travel fucking 2 hours to watch my team every week. So get there. Sunday afternoon footy. I think the weather's going to be pretty good, pretty sunny. Little shit rain we've had lately. So this is our chance to take over and prove how much this obviously club and this team means to us. Look, game day. Who's going? Jason, you'll be there. Everyone will be there. Everyone but the Queenslander is going to be there. How good's that?
I'm going to be there.
Not
From
you.
Queenslander. Shit.
Yeah.
Mate, trust me, I will be there in spirit. I got offstage that afternoon. I got my Parramatta offstage shorts ready and raring. We're good, boys.
He's good to go.
I like what
Good
Hopgood
to
said
go.
after the game, and I think Brendan Grimer just said it when he was asked about the next home game, technically being Penrith, and he said, "I don't give a crap about that team, but this is our stadium, not theirs." So
Yeah, exactly right.
everyone fired up after the game. So
They set the standard. Penrith, they obviously put that video when they first come with Hells Bells playing all that kind of shit. It was a fucking great video. I'm pretty disappointed that our social media team hasn't hit back at them. But hopefully they do something before game day. That if they don't do anything, obviously it's up to the fans and it's up to the team to dominate that ground. So let's get to the team list for this week. And there's obviously two big changes with Zach Lomax and Mitchell Moses named to back up. Hopefully they get through tomorrow night unscathed. And praying to God they get through unscathed. And even Jez is praying. No one else can see him. He's got his little hands going that they get through unscathed. Obviously, Will Penasini with that concussion drops out. So Lomax comes back in the wing. Russell back to the centres. Semrani there in the centres as well. Round Moses. Williams named in the front row. I'm expecting that to change again. Obviously, Kelm will probably go back to the bench. Williams will go to the second row. And Luca will start. And then I guess the bench there is Dylan Walker. Luke and Reddy, he'll probably be starting with Kelmer on the bench. Ryan Madison, Joe Ash-Papali, he keeps his spot in the team. Don't know how they're going to use him. Don't know what the plan was to use him last week because no one seemed to know. It was just to somehow get him in the game, a bit of time at hooker, give Riley a rest, just a bit of spark if we need. You can literally chuck him on the field, tell him to defend on the wing. Now, I guess if Zach Lomax does back up, it's pretty easy to put Josh Papali'i outside of him defensively, slide everyone in one. Zach Lomax obviously very capable of defending in the centres. Not so much attacking in there, but defending in the centres. So he'll be able to do a fantastic job. Extended bench, Matt Dury, Joe Lussick, Tony Mattelli, Dean Hawkins, and Sam Luzo is on there as well. Thoughts on the team list, Jack?
Was that me? Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was thinking about the video you just played. I've just good memories flowing through.
he was dreaming because he had a Galvin cover up done on his Dylan Brown one, but now he's got to get that covered up.
Yeah, boys. No more tattoo ideas until I see pen to paper. It's making me look bad. No, look, good lineup. Like I'm feeling super good about this weekend. I'm backing the boys. I think we look good. I think Penrith look pretty average this year. I'm sensing we rock up. As we all know, Parra Penrith games is 95% Parramatta fans, 5% Penrith fans who get clucky at the end when they shithouse a win. So, look, I'm ready to rock and roll, boys. Feeling good.
Troy?
Well, it's pretty much our strongest team, isn't it? Without probably Will in it, I guess. So, it's a very good looking team. Cannot wait. Love being a Parra fan, living in Penrith. So, usually this is my favourite game of the year because it's played at Penrith, but obviously it's not. But cannot wait.
Matty?
Yeah, I'm excited. I think after last week, we could, if we can get Penrith, we've got a pretty good draw. We can go on a bit of a run, but I'm liking Russell in the centres. I think his defense against Olakau'atu last pretty solid. So hopefully he backs it up this week and learns to pass to his winger.
Yeah. Jace?
I mean, on that, Russell's been really good in defense, but if you notice, when he does pass to the Fox, it's always a line break. So I almost feel like Russell is actually playing very well in the centres and picking the moments. A lot of the times he didn't pass to Fox against Manly, Fox was doubting himself. He was cutting in or he was too far back. And I think he was scared of Saab's speed. So Russell was making...
Come out as a bit of a game plan for him to come back on the inside. That's why he kept tucking back in.
Yeah, so Russell was making actually some good decisions to not pass in those circumstances. So this team looks really good. I always get excited when I see Momax. It just, you get the jitters, you get the blood starts running through a bit quicker. You can't wait to see that Moses kick to Lomax, both in Parramatta jerseys. So that makes you excited. I hate Penrith as much as anyone. Can't wait to smash them. And hopefully everyone pulls up well. We have a cracking game. And, please get down there. I don't know. Where's Reggie's this week? Where's the reserve? Where's reserves? Is it at?
They're on
that
ball.
Contact?
Yeah, they're on
Yeah.
ball.
Double header, yeah.
I'll be there. I'll be there to watch the Reggies.
Oh, Helen will be happy.
You all right? Helen, you happy? So get down there. It should be cracker.
Fuckstick, your thoughts?
I'm very excited for this game. I have a couple of things to quickly say. Penrith fans, you are in 17th. You have not win at this stadium. You will not win at this stadium. This is our home ground. You fucking cats. Good night.
See, they're still Queenslanders. So that was Hayden pretty much calling out any Penrith fan that wants to fight him. And no, Hayden, I won't pull you out. So if that gets replayed, any Penrith groups, you're on your own. Look, let's quickly, that's pretty much it. We're going to go to our bowl prediction soon. And we're going to do some Origin stuff as well. We've got a lot more to get through, but that's it, talking about the team list. I just want to bring up as well, obviously we've got our bowling day coming up next week, the 9th of June, obviously before the Parramatta Bulldogs game. It is at Parra Leagues Club, and it is going to be a massive day. So from 12 to 2, the game doesn't start at 4, so plenty of time to get across. It is open invite. So, look, we put on some food. Cumberland Throw are actually doing a podcast. We've teamed up with those guys as well. We won't have time to do one. They've come on board. It's supported by the Parramatta Eels Foundation, which is massive. 50% of the money will go back to them. Obviously, time for chat, boys. Jace, obviously ex-advisory, chucking some money on the bar as well. But the big news, obviously, this week is Talk to Me Bro. Obviously, making massive waves, mental health awareness, their mental health charity. They're doing a great job to obviously try and reduce that suicide rate down to 0. That's their aim. We've got them on board. So that's massive for us. So we represent them there with some merch and stuff as well. So going to be huge. Anyone can turn up. When you turn up, we'll see if we've got room for people to bowl. Obviously, some fans, if you don't get the chance to bowl, lots for you to do. We've got a signed jersey to give away as well, some other packs. And we're going to launch a raffle next week. And the plan for the raffle, obviously, if everything goes to plan, is we'll have a couple of box tickets to raffle off and some other things, some merch and that as well. So should be huge. Can't wait to do that. Obviously, just we'll keep posting that event, keep an eye on it. Anyone's welcome to turn up. We need some big numbers there for that.
Is there karaoke?
Not for you. There's going to be a PA system, but we'll see how we go. Well, anything's possible, eh? You can't fucking bowl. We might as well get you to sing. Actually, you can't do that. There's 2 things you can't do. No, we'll have to find. Actually, there's going to be a bit of a bar, so you can just drink. We know you can do that well. So, all right, let's get on to final questions. Try and get your final questions in. We'll do some bowl predictions. We're going to bring Jez in as well. Yep.
I'm hoping that with us, once Galvin's announced that dogs, Ivy's announced that dogs, and he doesn't backflip and angry because of the way they announced it. But I just hope that we're not thinking too far ahead to that Bulldogs game. and we actually Riles will get us to this game. So
Yeah, I think if the boys can't get themselves up for this game with all the build up about our paradise, like we've seen the club, obviously, since Penrith announced, they've forced this our paradise thing on us. And I fucking love it. I think it's one of the best things the club's done, state the claim. Now, we spoke in our very first SGA meeting. Troy, when was that? November? We spoke back then about ways to make this our home game and things we can do. And, it's huge. It's huge for the club to obviously dominate this week. So let's hope we can do that. This is a late show. Let's get on with it. All right. So final questions. Obviously, get your final question. Let's do some bold predictions. Now, everyone this week has just got to give me a bold prediction. Jazz, you got your pen and paper because you're going to be fucking writing for days. I'll go to you last because you only get the one. Say, bold prediction for this game. Obviously, you want your score, first try, bold prediction. Then for Origin, I want a score and a score and a player of the match. All right. Okay. Troy, under the bus, go first.
Okay. Parramatta 24-18. Jordan Samrani, first try scorer. Bold prediction. Jermaine Hopgood, 150 metres. Origin, you want to score for that one too?
Yes.
18-14 New South Wales. Latrell Mitchell, first try scorer. And Mitchell Moses, player of the match.
We actually weren't doing a first try scorer. We're still playing.
Well, I threw it in.
Okay, well, now we're apparently fucking doing it. He thinks because he's a senior one here, he can make up the rules. Jack, what do you got?
I've got Parramatta 26, Penrith 10. I've got Sean Russell as my first try scorer. My bold prediction is Kelma comes on and shots Blaze Talangi so hard he's on his haunches and throws up at halfway. My
Kelma smashed Blaze throw up.
My Origin one, I've got this because I just did my podcast an hour before this one started. I've got New South Wales 26-10. And I've got Critter man of the match for that game. Do you want a try scorer or don't worry about it?
No, give us try scorer now. Troy ruined it for everyone. So.
Lomax, Specky's Val Holmes, and then runs up and high fives me because I'm row one behind him.
Love it. Love it. Jace?
I think Parra 32-12. Hopgood to score the first try. And I'm going to go super bold and Papa, good old Papa, to Joash Papali to score 2 off the bench.
That's going to be his bold prediction. That's going to be his bold prediction every week now.
100%. Flat Troy, we've all better seen. Now, what do you got for Origin?
Origin, I reckon New South Wales is going to absolutely demolish Queensland. I'm going to say 46-6. I think it's going to be a smashing. First try scorer, Lomax. Yeah. Do we want bold or man of the match? What's the last one?
Man of the match.
Man of the match, yeah. Maui, don't worry.
Matt?
Yeah, I got Eels 36-16. See what I did there? 20 points. I've got who do I have? I've got Jack Williams, first try scorer. And bold prediction, I'm going to say Dylan Brown, 3 try assists, Mitch Moses, 1.
I'm going to get mine in. Don't worry, Hayden. I'm coming to you. I haven't left yet. Don't get
and Origin.
That is Origin.
Yeah,
I forgot Origin. Origin is 38-12. I've got Stephen Crichton, first try scorer, and I think Latrell Mitchell, player of the game. Because Latrell in Origin is a different beast.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who didn't pick Moses. I was scared I was going to be the only one.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm about to get thrown under a bus here. All right, Parramatta to win 42-8. Absolutely smash Penrith. I don't see some of their players backing up. Lomax first try scorer, Lomax hat trick. Better be very unpopular. Origin, Suncorp, game 1. I just can't see the balance between Mitchell Moses and Nathan Cleary working together. I'm very sorry. I don't think they both should have been picked. I think it should have been Moses and Luai. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to pick Queensland 22-14. I still think New South Wales will win the series. I think they're going to struggle.
Jez,
first.
mute him.
Hey, I've got the power. Don't worry. So my first try.
I love it. Oh, no, Jez.
The host has unmuted your mic. Fuck, he's now the host. He's been here for 2 minutes. He's now the host. All right. First try scorer. I think Latrell scores the first try still for New South Wales. And my man of the match, I'm going to go Tino, whatever his last name is pronounced.
Fasil Malaawi.
That one. Yep. I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
still hate you.
I know. I had to do it. I'm going to game 3, and I'm taking
the
Lucas
last 2 game ones at Suncorp. I believe New South Wales has won. We won 2017 game 1 at Suncorp, and we won 2021 game 1 at Suncorp as well.
I wanted to.
No, I lied. That was at Townsville. Never mind.
Still Queenslanders.
Yeah.
I really want to decide her in game 3 because I'm taking Lucas down and taking Dad down to Origin, and we're doing all 3 of us. I really wanted to.
It still can be, but I'm going to game 1. So can we please fucking win?
No, I don't think we can lose. If we win game 1, I think we'll wipe the forward in 3-0. All right,
I'm
Hayden.
happy with that.
What do you got, Hayden?
I'm actually going to get this out of the way and do my Origin first. And I wanted to just jump on here and go the Mighty Maroons by 20. But like Adam, and I fucking hate to do this, I'm actually going to go the Blues to win this game. I look at the bench, and I think the bench is going to get it done for the Blues. I don't think there's enough forwards on the bench for the Maroons. So I've got the Blues 20-16. Wash my fucking mouth out. My first try scorer is Latrell Mitchell, and I think he'll probably pick up man of the match as well. Yuck. As for the Eels game, I'm going to go with Parramatta to win 26-16 over the Panthers. I agree with Adam that Zach Lomax is going to get the first try of that match. And bold prediction, I reckon that Parramatta will successfully complete 3 one-on-one strips.
Oh.
You got fucking Dave Middleton in the comments, by the way. Origin's only been played 3 times at Suncorp on May 28th. New South Wales have won all 3. There you go.
That's been thrown around heaps lately.
Yeah.
You want another stat?
Not really.
No.
Okay. Your thoughts?
No, it's all right. No, it's all right.
Want another stat? How many beers is Troy going to sink tomorrow night?
36 in the first half.
All right, it is a school night, but it is Origin. So
You can't. If Troy drank 36 beers, mate, he drinks 3 beers and he's fucked. Let alone 36.
And New South Wales is sponsored by Tooheys News, so perfect.
But this podcast is not. So if you are having a drink tomorrow night, make sure you are drinking Riverside Brewing Co. All right, Jez.
Do I get to do a Parramatta one as well, or just Origin?
No. You can if you want to.
I was pretty close with my last one.
Yeah,
I was happy with that.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, I'll do a Parra one. I'm going to go Parramatta
Penrith.
6-4. Low scoring game. Yeah.
If the game ends after 10 minutes.
Trust process.
Is it fucking pissing down rain on Sunday?
Yeah. It's just going to be a real slogfest. First try scorer is going to be I'm going to go Moses.
Only try scorer then. The rest are just penalties.
Correct. Still score. Penalties. Bold prediction.
Penalties.
There's going to be 2 send-offs. No, sorry, 2 10 in the bins.
Sin bins.
Yeah. Origin, let's get real here. Origin is going to be
4-2.
24-8, New South Wales. First try scorer, I'm going to go Edwards. I'm just writing as I'm saying this. And player of the match, it's going to be my man Moses. God, I love him in Origin. Moses for man of the match.
Love it. All right, let's do this draw. So as we said, we are giving away a jersey. All right, Jez, I've taken back over as you're writing. Next to Parra Leagues, giving away a hoodie. Now, you do have to be here to claim. You have 30 seconds. I believe there is a shit ton of starred comments. Hopefully they're all shared.
55 so far.
55. All right, so I've got to shrink this shit first. All right, 0 to 55 is in there. Let's see what we got. 15, that's good. I can work with that. I'll work that out right now from the top. 1. All right, it's not used if that comes up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14. All right. So, Chris Woodford, if you're still here, it is you. You got 30 seconds from now.
Start the timer. Where's the music?
I haven't got the music. It goes 1:30:20. 1:30:20. New South Wales, where the blues, Queensland, you're gonna lose. New South Wales. He's here.
There he is.
Oh,
All right, Chris. Everyone knows drill by now. Message the page. Guys, let's get your final questions. We're not going to do too many of them because it is absolutely fucking late. It's 9:46.
I have starred some as well, so there are some in there.
Okay, good. Let's go. Some of us too have work tomorrow, as Jerome the Wide say. So let's have a look. Yeah, not that one. I think we'll avoid that one. Just getting rid of all these sheds. There's a shit ton of them.
There's one.
Better.
Can someone read that and answer it while I get rid of the sheds?
The question says, are we a better team without Will Penasini?
Go on, Troy.
Better.
Answer it.
We're a better team without his manager.
Troy, do you want to answer that question?
Better.
You don't think we're better? Give us a reason why.
Well, look, he hasn't had the best of years this year, but we have seen him. We have seen the potential that he does have, and so it could be just one of these years. But he'll turn it around, and we'll see the best of Will.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Maybe the added pressure of his brother snapping at his heels in reserve grades.
I don't think that's it. I think they've tried to overcomplicate his game too much. Like we know that Scott Wiseman's come in with that rugby union background. We've touched on this before, and he's trying to do too much. Like I said last week, and it keeps coming up. Will has been coached by Brad Arthur through juniors as a Rouse Hill Rhino. He was then coached by Brad Arthur his whole first grade career at Parramatta. He's trying to impress too much and he's trying to do too much. He needs to simplify his game. If he simplifies his game, and let's be honest, when he comes back next week, if we get another win, there is a chance he simplifies his game in New South Wales Cup. That may be what forces him to happen. If these two boys kill this week, that will happen. So, we need to know. Obviously, that's what I think is going to happen there. Jez, next question.
We touched on that. He did. Yesterday.
Yeah, done. It's a done deal. Trying to star a couple more for you to come in there. How do you think Joash will use it? Jace, how will Joash be used this week?
Well, he's, as we discussed, he's a backup for absolutely everything. But if all goes well, I think he's coming on into the middle, maybe giving Riley 5 to 10 minutes, each side of the half, something like that, just for a bit of spark. Dummy half, maybe a few runs, a few scoots, a few backline plays, just 10, 15 minutes of just energy, electrifying, some of the world's greatest sports entertainment you've seen from Joash Papali'i.
It's like he's introduced a wrestler.
It's definitely the rocks at the back of my mind.
I'm going to disagree with you there, Jace.
I think I've got an idea for Joash, but yeah.
Go on, say it.
So, two options. He'll either come on if we've got a lead and they rest Zach, or call me crazy, but I think Sam Rani goes second row, Dylan goes center, and Joash goes 6 for a bit there, just to test a few options. Call me crazy.
Not in a big game like this. I think you were almost cooking there. I think Sam Rani goes to the back row. Moretti goes, say Moretti starts, Sam Rani moves in the back row, and then Joash plays a bit of center. Maybe defends on the wing again, plays center, but I think he'll move into Sam Rani's spot, and Sam Rani will slide back into the back row. It's too big of a game to be mixing positions like that and experimenting when you're so close to being outside the 8.
There's also a big opportunity if we are winning comfortably. He gets a chance to Riley. Zach Lomax just gets rested at the end of the game after backing up from Origin. Or Mitch might get rested if we're winning comfortably. If the game's wrapped up with 10, 15 to go, which hopefully it is, you think you'd bring Mitch and Lomax off. Walker goes to 6, Brown goes to 7, maybe Josh goes to the wing. That's a pretty simple thing for me. So he'll definitely get some game time. I don't think he'll get the game time he got last week. And obviously, hopefully, he doesn't need to have that because that was due to a HIA, but he'll definitely get it. Next question. Here's a question.
Roast in the comments.
Given the history over the last 2 years, do you generally feel confident we sign the next player we chase? It's a bit of a loophole with that question because the next player we chase, no one could want. I know we're looking to sign some forwards, but in regards to a big player, I wouldn't feel confident at all. Like Matt said earlier in our private chat, every kind of player we look to chase and there's another club interested, we seem to miss out. So as I've said before, the club needs to find a way to make that not possible. The club needs to find a way that we are the team that players want to play for. I don't know how they do that. Jace has got some ideas with third party. I think we need to find a way to do it without money. It is a hard one. So there's one there's a chance Isaac fucks the dogs over and backflips. I'm glad it's done. I don't really want to talk about it anymore. So glad we got this out the way. I think we've dodged a bullet. I don't think we need him. Would have been great to have, but probably would have blocked the path for one of these young blokes coming through as well. Pick one forward. Oh, no, you're going on. Does Jace have, I was going to finish on that one. Does Jace have a bigger crush on Joash or Momax? All right, Jace.
Look, we'll have to remember.
Well, Joash, Zach Lomax, Mitch Moses.
I was going to answer it because
shoot Shag Murray.
There's still a lot of love for Hands. I miss Hands.
Okay, let's get rid of Mitch. Let's put Momax as one identity. All right. And then Joash, and then Hands. Shoot Shag Murray.
I'm shooting myself.
Am I writing this down?
Before I shoot myself, I'll shag all of them.
He's obviously joking. We obviously don't mean that.
Momax, because it's Momax, it's two of them. But if I'm saying who's my favourite out of Lomax, Moses, and Papali, it's Joash, obviously. He's my favourite at the moment.
Love it. All right. Jez loves Moses, Jays love Josh. Yeah, it's actually scarily true. All right. What do we got? We got pick one forward and one future number 6. We've got some coming through, like I've said. If we're going to chase in regards to the forward, Payne Haas is an easy target. In regards to number 6, there isn't much out there. There's a couple come off in 2027. Obviously, Wishard's available. There's someone else I was looking at earlier for 2027. I don't know where it was. Metcalf. Yeah, Metcalf was available if we are going to go down that track and try and sign one. He's also 26 already, so he'll be close to 28 by the time we get him. But, yeah, I think we've got the depth there. We don't need to actually sign a genuine 6, big name 6, as I said. Buzz is saying we go for Sandor Smith. Would you see... Oh, we've already done that. Buzz is saying we go for Sandor Smith. Would you see Riles do it since they have a relationship from the Roosters? Like I said, do we need him? Like, he's going to come cheap. He can do a job, but I think we've already got people that can do the jobs, and I don't want to see it block some young guy's path. There was a rumor floating around that he was signed. That was fake news. He wasn't signed, so...
I reckon he'll go Cowboys.
I think we'll go Cowboys.
We've agreed. We'll go on the Cowboys. There was one question I missed.
I reckon... When's Jordan Ricky up for grabs? Because I'm hearing whispers.
Any time by the things that I hear.
I think it's 26 because I remember looking. There was nothing for this season.
I think they need to offload some players.
I know you're hearing whispers. I think you need to take your medication. That's just the voices in your head this time.
No, I'm serious.
If the voices in his head to be a bit more than Jordan Ricky.
They need to offload players.
Well, Parra's going to have so much money. We don't know what to do with it. So,
like, we could easily go after like Max King, for example, and Jordan Ricky, just bolster up our forward pack.
He's only on 250. We could offer him 5 and he would come.
Let's offer him 255 and a good handshake.
And good Chinese meal.
And a tour of excellence. All right.
Chinese meal.
As we said, we've got work tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. We'll be trying to do a show on Sunday as well. Obviously, our game day show has been lacking for the last couple of weeks. It's just been fucking nuts few weeks, to be honest. So good luck to the Blues. Good luck to the girls. Blues looking for a clean sweep at Newcastle on Thursday night as well. Tune in for them. We'll have a bit of our reaction to that, and hopefully we see some Momax magic again. Final call out to the Parra fans. Get out to Paradise on Sunday. Let's dominate these Penrith smug pricks and show them where they are.
Woo-hoo!
And see you next Tuesday.
Go Blues.